Hi, everybody. I am so excited today because I am here speaking with Maegan Watson, founder of My Dear Watson. And the topic we're going to talk about today is how to get dressed with less stress, the secret to making your wardrobe, image, and life come together. And I love this because what Maegan does, what I do with spaces, Maegan does with wardrobes. So I'm so excited. This is such a great partnership, and I'm so glad to know her. So a little bit about Maegan is she's the personal stylist and founder at My Dear Watson, a firm dedicated to creating wardrobes that practically hand you your outfit every time you get dressed. So you feel the way you want and you can love the way you look. And she has nearly a decade of experience supporting amazing individuals by building their life transforming wardrobes. So she solves the unending question of what should I wear today? So your energy is reserved for family, fulfilling your work, and fun. And she lives in Telluride, Colorado, fresh snow there in Telluride, with her son, her husband, and her chocolate lab. So thanks, Maegan. I'm so excited we're doing this today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
So like I mentioned a little bit, one of the reasons I was excited about you and me having this conversation is because I work so hard with women to help remove the negative and disjointed and unhealthy and unhappy aspects of their environment, so their space, their office, their home. And so many times we're going through the closet and taking out all of this stuff, and there's always so much personal, well, a woman's closet in particular is such a personal space. And it's like an archaeological dig through their whole life. Mm-hmm. And so once I've helped them take a lot of that stuff out, then helping them find their voice and their space and their style and their expression so that that empowerment can be furthered is what you do. So what I do with spaces, you do with wardrobe, and it's all to help women feel powerful and find their voice. And so I wanted to ask, so the way you do it is pretty unique, and so can you tell us a little bit about how you approach your work, what exactly you do?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And I love the way you said it, but the way that there is that synergy between what we do, because I always say that my mission is just to help a woman become her best and bravest self. Mm-hmm. And you're doing the same thing, but with your modality. And I have my modality, and other people have their modalities. Right. And sometimes a woman needs all of those modalities because it's all about support and getting the guidance that you need. So I really love that. But yes, I'm happy to share how it is the way we work, how it is unique. And so like you said, I've been styling for close to a decade now, and it really was my personal struggle with getting dressed that influenced how we as a company dress women today. And, my story was that getting dressed was easy. Putting things together was easy, looked good, looked fine. But it was really about feeling good enough and that internal feeling of feeling good enough. And I feel like that's the bottom line struggle for so many women. I know that I am not alone in that was kind of my baseline. And my tendency, as it was with most women too, was to be the supporter and to blend in and to work really, really hard, but, never let them see you sweat, that whole thing. And when I had to do whatever it took to figure out emotionally, physically, spiritually, what I needed to do to be my best and bravest self, when I started asking those questions, I came to this point, and I learned that underneath all of the criticism and all of the self-doubt is this woman who can very gently be nudged out from hiding through her wardrobe. And, we'll continue to talk about how that happens, but that's what I found to be true. And that's what I have found to be true with every single one of the clients that I've worked with. So that's how we're unique, because the way we go about finding who you are and allowing you to do the discovery process, we're not figuring it out for you. Right. That's why it's so unique.
Right. And I see in closets, so many women have so many different messages about what looks good and how they should look. And what I love is that you help them find their voice. And I think that's super awesome. And so obviously we all get dressed every day, but this type of work really isn't for everyone, is it? Tell me about that.
Yeah. So, yes, we all get dressed, but this undergoing this type of personal discovery process through how you look, or even, I'm sure you can relate to this as well, through, someone may not be ready to dive in and upheave their space and do all this,
right.
all of those things. And the same goes true with this. So that process of figuring out what that image is, who you are, what you want to look like, excuse me, is, something that you want to take on when you feel really clear about
about when you need to drink some water.
Yes.
Knowing what's good for you, right? Knowing what you need. That's good.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
And little things and big things.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So when I find that there's a place that a woman gets to when they're ready to take on something as impactful as how they show up every day. And it's this perfect combination of two things. One is letting go of, they are ready to let go of the materialistic view of getting dressed. And it's so important because the way we look and the way we dress and the clothing that we're wearing is just a vessel for communicating our mission. And when we're able to look at it that way, the fact that it's not about the dress, it's not about the shoes, it's not about the necklace, it's about the woman we become in those things, the guilt and the weight that those items can hold for us completely goes away.
Huge.
That's the first part. And that's actually so easily done. It's much easier than I think people might think it would be. And then the second quality is the woman that is ideal to work with us has a mission.
Right.
She may know what it is. She may not know what it is. She may just sense she has a mission. But the reason why that's so important is because it's this frustration to want to achieve that mission that makes the work that we do stick. And the way that happens is that through our discovery process, through the process that we get to know you, that's the very first thing we figure out, and we help and we try to understand about you is what your mission is. And then that becomes the bar that we hold for you. So as you work your way down this process of creating an image that you love and creating outfits that you feel really good in, as the discomfort of visibility may start to creep in, we just hold your mission up here and I say, this is why we're doing this. This is why this is important. This is why visibility, while it may not feel great at first, is worth it. And that uncovers all sorts of other things about, having that power to stand strong in that mission and follow it and know that you are good enough and you deserve to do these things for yourself. So that's why those two pieces, the one, being ready to let go of the materialistic view of getting dressed, and then to really knowing and owning your mission, are what make the woman who works with us an ideal candidate.
Right. And so so you've touched on this a bit, but the clothing and investing in your image, I mean, we're talking a lot about professional women, entrepreneurs, all, these women are pretty high powered people. So how is that investment? I mean, women spend money on clothes all the time, and that's partly why I have a job. There's a lot of money spent, but it doesn't feel like it's always an investment in their best self. So how is it that you approach that?
Yeah. And so the way that this really, the way that clothing and getting dressed and investing in your wardrobe and your image can really impact your life is that, in life, we can classify almost everything we do as either energy draining or energy enhancing. So from the thoughts we think to the food we eat, to the clothes we wear, it's either depleting our energy or it's enhancing it. And for most women, one of the most energy draining things they'll do all day is get dressed, because it's this opportunity to be frustrated. It's an opportunity to see all of the mistakes that you've made. It's an opportunity to, berate the way you look, whether it's the outfit or your body or whatever it is. It's just it's like this perfect storm of opportunity for frustration. And I promise you, it can be the exact opposite of that. I've seen it be the exact opposite of that. I've experienced it being the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is what is so huge, is that when you have purpose in what you're buying, you have purpose in what works for you, you have purpose in what you're going to feel amazing in. And when you have that, it becomes so much more guided and clear. And then we can set up the pathways. And so this is kind of going a little deeper, but what happens is then when we work together, we associate your mission and all of the wonderful things about you with your clothing, because that's how the aesthetic gets created. We're not grabbing a catalog image that we think is pretty and planting it on you. We're extracting all of the amazing qualities about you from you, showing you what those would look like visually, and that becomes your new image. And so when we do that, every time you get dressed, every time you put on an outfit that represents that image, or you grab one from your lookbook, when you go through a program with us, you get a lookbook that shows you exactly what you're wearing, because we've done all the shopping for you. So
wow. Who wouldn't like that?
Yeah. We're not just going to give you all of these clothes and not tell you what to do with them. But the big thing is that every time you look at that lookbook, every time you put that outfit on, you're kind of recommitting to yourself. You're kind of recommitting to, this is how amazing I am. These are the qualities. And that's a difficult part. That's the part that's really hard for women to do, to say how wonderful we are. But the more you do it, the more ingrained those pathways get. And so that is how it impacts your life. It's commitment and consistency, and really being ready for once and for all to stop doing it the old way and to do it a different way. And it's an amazing thing to witness.
One of the things I always talk to my clients about is if your home or your closet, and with women it's usually a closet, if it's so full of who you used to be, there's literally no room for who you are now or who you're becoming. And that's why I feel like what you do is super awesome, because we have a ton of stuff, but it doesn't always, who are we now? Because we're evolving, beautiful human beings, especially as women. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So awesome. But sometimes it needs a second opinion on helping us really shape our awesomeness. So for women who are listening to this and they're thinking they are ready to do something with their wardrobe now, but they don't know where to start, what would some tips be from you?
Yeah, some good tips. And so the first I'd have to say is, I love that you just said, you have to let go of who you are to become who you must. So my first tip is just kind of settling into that surrendering process of becoming who you must be. And if people are listening who have worked with you already, they've already started that path.
That's right.
And so I think that's
exercise that muscle a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
And so my number one piece of advice is and it's so simple, but it's to pick your outfit out every day, is to not go into your closet kind of blindly, just I'm going to grab some stuff and I'm going to put it together, but it's to actually start to be a little more methodical about it. And this is not about taking a lot of time and picking out a bunch of outfits, but this is actually a huge time saver. And some people can't see how that happens, but I'm talking 20, 30 minutes on a Sunday, or, whenever you can grab that time, flip through your calendar, see what you have coming up, see what the weather's going to be, and pick out a handful of outfits.
Right.
And not to put too much thought into it, actually. But to grab the undergarments too and the shoes, because you'll start to see how much ease is brought into your life when you wake up and there's an outfit waiting for you. You don't have to decide what outfit you're wearing on what day, but it's just, even if you start with one outfit, two outfits, three outfits, picking them out ahead of time will create an incredible amount of ease. And this is the part where this is kind of the subjective versus objective piece comes into play. And it's really important that I touch on this, because this is where a lot of the criticizing starts to happen in the closet.
The self-criticizing?
The self-criticizing, yes. So
I just have a crammy day. Not that.
Yeah. So no, so what you want to do is, we all have our favorite outfit, and it became our favorite outfit, or a couple favorite outfits, or a favorite sweater, or whatever it is. It became that favorite item for a reason. And it's that thing that you could run into your closet right now, put it on and run out the door, and you would be like, okay, I'm good, and feel good in it. But I promise you that if you go put that on and you don't run out the door, but you stop in front of your mirror and you just start to look at it, you do a little turnaround, see what you're looking, you will find something wrong with it and you'll start to criticize yourself.
Right.
And that's the piece that we have to start to eliminate. We absolutely just have to stop doing that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And one way is that, one way of doing that is to pick the outfit out ahead of time and just wear it. Know that it fits. Know all of those things.
Decision made.
Don't scrutinize over it. But that's another reason when women have difficulty with that, that's another piece that we help facilitate, is that we become that objective eye, and we do all of the work to build the trust with you, because we know it's just not going to be like, oh yeah, tell me what to wear and let me wear it. But we will be that objective eye so that you don't have to kind of suffer through your subjectivity anymore.
Right.
And it's really relieving. It brings a lot of peace to the getting dressed process, but it's exactly decision made. I picked the outfit out. Don't stand in front of the mirror and find things wrong. It's just, we need to start to build those pathways of, this is representing all of the wonderful pieces of me, and leave it at that and let that be kind of the final say.
I think that's awesome. And I know we only want to touch on this quickly, but because I work with so many women who keep things in their closet that are all different sizes. So I'm between sizes, they say, or they, that whole, I have my fat clothes. It just breaks my heart, And so I know that you work with women having that conversation with themselves. And so I wanted to know how, a quick piece of advice. What do you say to women who aren't going to do this because they're between sizes and they're waiting to magically wake up with the perfect body, according to their completely criticizing standards?
Such a good question. Such a good question. So my biggest piece of advice when it comes to that is that what I hear over and over is that women are using their clothing as a punishment. So they don't think that they think they should be a different size. Right. So they're going to hold on to, or worse, even wear the clothing that doesn't fit.
Inspiration.
Yeah, it's not inspiration.
It's so crippling.
It's beating you down for sure.
Yeah.
If you accepted where you are and what size you are, that will start to facilitate the change process. But putting on a pair of pants every day that hurt when you bend over is not going to motivate you. No one is motivated by shame, and you're just shaming yourself when you do that. And it feels awful. And, I had to think of the time frame, over the past 2 years or so, I've changed so many sizes. I would say, realistically, I'd probably say 6. And
you're a fairly new mom, and so you've been through a lot of changes.
Yeah. So new clothing, and then more new clothing. And then I didn't go back to my normal size, which is fine. But that's if I would have kept everyone kind of the pre-baby jeans, or whatever they are, your your skinny jeans, your high school jeans, your college jeans, whatever they are, every category has their own things.
Right.
It is not some award or some big victory to get back to those items. I think that embracing the change that you've gone through, no matter what it is, and just accepting where your body is now and being kind to it, there's no better gift you can give yourself. And here's the other thing, and this is kind of the insider piece that will, I feel like, alleviate a lot of stress.
That's why I like talking to you, because you got the inside scoop.
Yeah. Clothing can be comfortably tailored down up to 2 sizes. So 2 whole sizes. So I've done this so many times where we've built a little wardrobe for a certain size, let's say a size 14. Okay. And that woman is maybe in a size transition, which is great, but don't push yourself. Don't stress yourself. Allow it to unfold in the time it's going to unfold. That clothing can be easily and comfortably taken down to a 10.
That is
so
amazing.
That's a huge jump. And what we would do is we would make sure, like, we'd advise pieces that would comfortably move. You know, there's of course some exceptions to that, but jackets, dresses with darts. So that is the reason there, that there's no reason for you to be wearing things that make you feel crappy. That's
awesome. And you have that perspective on what kind of pieces help invest in a wardrobe today with the person and the body you have now. And if that change happens, that's really helpful that you've already thought ahead on those wardrobe pieces.
Right. Yeah. We're a huge believer in quality over quantity. So it's
which
small
I love
number
over quantity, because quantity is not as liberating as we think.
Yes. And you need to I think that this is the process that you're telling people, is to get rid of those items. Just make space.
We don't say get rid of.
What do you say? Let go of. Do you know what I use? I say transition.
Yeah. We can transition those away, out. Let them live a life with somebody else now.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. So, okay, so this has been really great, and I really love where you're going with this. And so how is it that we can learn more? Because we have a couple avenues we can look at.
Yes. Okay. So this is the exciting part. So we've talked about a lot today, and I think just giving yourself a pat on the back for even approaching the subject with either of us. I think both of the things we do are very transformative, very, very transformative. And that takes a very brave woman to consider doing them. So just know that about yourself. But what Jennifer and I have talked about to do is, yeah. Like she said, there's two things, because it's a special time of year. But one, so anyone listening, you are being offered a complimentary styling session. And so what that will allow you to do is just to start to ask some of those questions with a professional, and start to learn a little bit about yourself and how this transformation could serve you. So the styling session is virtual. Our entire company works virtually, and it can be booked. The link below the video will allow you to book that. Mm-hmm. There are, of course, very limited spots to be able to do this. So if it's something that sounds good to you, definitely book now. I think we're leaving it open for 48 hours, I believe that's right. And so book your styling session, and there'll be a short form for you to fill out for us to get to know you prior to your session. But it's
that helped me get to know myself even better in a way that I thought I already knew, but your questions were so profound. It was really amazing.
Yeah, they're really fun sessions. They're really fun for us, and they're fun for you. And it's an overall good feeling to leave with that understanding. And then once a year, we do the opportunity to gift My Dear Watson, to gift the programs that we do. And, you know, this came about an interesting way with, I never had a way, our company never had a way for our service to be gifted because of the intake process, because it's such a personal process. Mm-hmm. But I was definitely pushed by the universe to do that. And I had 3 requests, really touching requests, kind of in a short time frame, from a husband, from a mother, and from a daughter, kind of wanting to do it for their wife, daughter, and mother. And, and just their reasons for wanting to help them and to say, I'm in your corner, I'm supporting you. And so what we did is we made a program that kind of allows the gifter, kind of the concept is, who better to tell us about you than the person who loves you the most? So it's this really touching process. And so there's that option too, for you to learn more about that. And there's also a link below the video for you to learn about that too.
And that's specifically a holiday time thing. This is the one time a year that you're really doing that.
We only do it this time of year. And for the clothing so we will actually be shopping for that special person. That will be done prior to the holidays.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so because of that, the deadline to talk with the stylist is December 8th. So there's a shorter window, but it's a really amazing opportunity. And yeah, and I'm really excited that we're offering it to you guys, because I know that the people who follow Jennifer and who have worked with her are in this place of receiving transformation. And so I know it's a really good fit.
That's right. And thank you so much for doing that. So it's great to partner with people who are in the, have that same, I'm very protective of my clients, as I know you are. And it's so wonderful to know that if I share this information with people, they're going to be cared for and loved and encouraged and empowered, which is the whole goal of all of this. So thank you so much, Maegan, and all of the information you need will be in the email attached and the links below, so you can get with Maegan as soon as you can. And I encourage you to take advantage of everything. And you'll be hearing a little bit more from Maegan and me as time goes on. So thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer.